Beekeepers, have you ever had too many bees? Well, I'm currently at 189 separate colonies, and there's 4 colonies I check once a week. I haven't split 35 colonies, and these 4 are included in those 35. I checked them a couple days ago. They're doing well, but they're not ready to split yet, and I don't want to split all my colonies now anyway. It is May 11th, and at mid-June, the commercial beekeepers come back to my area, so I want to have some colonies I can split in June, beginning of June, so I can have some virgin queens ready to mate with their drones. But I've got over 100 mating nukes right now, probably 101 or something like that, 102. I built a lot of nice covers a year or so ago, but aluminum is very expensive now for some reason. 50-foot coil of aluminum 2 feet wide is $125. A few years ago it was only $60. So these are underneath the roof, and I realize that probably only half of my mating nukes will be successful, that it's only May 11th. I can either combine the unsuccessful mating nukes with those that are successful, or I can take and I can reboot. It's what I call reboot, when I stick another frame of eggs or brood and eggs into a failed mating nuke and try again. So I probably do this until July. After July, I won't do any more because robbing gets to be a hassle in August. So let me show you these. Well, sometimes if I have room, I'll move a queen ray. Anything with a medium is queen ray. Got a queen in it. And I've got to say, I've never seen so many dandelions in my life. And years ago when I wasn't a beekeeper, this would drive me nuts, but right now I'm enjoying it. My bees are feeding off the dandelions. See? So you got more mating nukes. This is the colony I haven't split yet. And then some of these are the queen right that I moved. Anywhere I can find a location, I may slide a hive a little bit left or right, and I find a location and I put a queen right hive. And these right here are the 2 that last month I had 3 colonies at my other apiary, because we had a warm week in April and they started doing brood really heavily. And because I didn't feed syrup last fall, they didn't have a lot of honey. And then it cooled off, and the large colonies were robbing the small colonies because we didn't have all these flowers yet. And I went over there and I found 3 colonies chilled, and 2 of them survived, but I lost 1. And these happen to be the 2 that survived, but they suffered a setback because they lost some bees and they lost some brood. So I won't be able to split this until next month, these 2 here. And if a colony is really small, I don't put a shim in it. This doesn't have a shim. It's supposed to cool off again in the next couple days. But if it's large enough, I put a shim in it so they get some airflow. Let me pause. You know, I get really irritated with a lot of these beekeepers on YouTube that have a lot of views, but they're not mentioning the toxic chemicals. They're not being honest with you, because they're sponsored by the corporations. They get a lot of money from their advertising they do with their videos, and they don't want to offend the corporations. But I don't give a shit. I don't care how many subscribers I have, how many views I have. I tell you like it is, tell you the truth, and if you can't handle the truth, I'm sorry, maybe you need to go see your mommy. So, hey, Vinyl Farm, or anybody that knows Vinyl Farm or David Burns, if you guys know David Burns' Vinyl Farm, ask them if they've ever come close to 200 colonies, okay? You know, you put a bunch of videos on YouTube and you act like you're so important and everything. And my bees have a hard time with the toxic chemicals, and I'm telling people that because this is a crop farming area in mid-Michigan. And so far there's 1 field that farmer has killed my bees before. He hasn't been out there yet. So I'm always worried about what he's going to do with these chemicals. The poisons he's spraying is in our food. It's designed that way. The rich people want us to get cancer. They make money every time you get radiation treatment or chemotherapy treatment. So the shit you're eating that you're buying from your grocery store is not good for you. So here's more mating nukes. Five days after I do a mating nuke, I go back through and I destroy all the capped queen cells if there are open queen cells in the nuke. If they don't have any open queen cells, I'll leave it. And then I know I need to check that later to see if it got a decent virgin queen. But bees don't always know what they're doing. So far the clover in the area hasn't popped up with flowers yet, but these dandelions are feeding the bees right now. I did have to buy a little bit of domino cane sugar to help them through the cool part of spring, but as you see, I'm not feeding them now. They're surviving on all the flowers in my area and this hayfield over here. So I got away without feeding my bees last fall. I didn't spend thousands of dollars on domino cane sugar. And keeping up with these bees is a lot of work. Like, say for instance, I just finished making some of these today. These are my insulated fillers. These are mating nukes I did yesterday. But when I did them yesterday, I didn't have these ready. So you see, I'm going to go through today and I'm going to put, what I do is I put one on each side so that when I'm looking for the virgin queen to see if she's, you know, if she came out of the queen cell or see if she got mated, I don't wait, you know, like 3 weeks or whatever to see if you have a laying queen. I try to catch it as soon as possible. So if I can put another virgin queen, keep that colony going. But as soon as that colony doesn't have any brood, you better put a frame of brood in there if you want to keep it going, because that's what keeps them sane, keeps them motivated. That brood. Without that brood, they kind of get demoralized and things fall apart in the colony. So that's, I just did one. I got more to do. And the other thing, you know, Americans, I keep saying this, you guys are so stupid. I parked at a grocery store yesterday, and whatever happened to the beautiful people we had years ago, they're all gone. Everybody is fat and stupid. Well, they look stupid. I just assume, I could be wrong. You could be fat and smart, I suppose, but obviously you're all fat. It's designed that way. The rich people are making money off of that later on when you have your health issues. If you guys don't seem to understand that, you don't give a shit what you look like anymore. If my belly here goes past my belt buckle, I start to eat less. I care what I look like. I know the end of winter, coming out of winter, I've got a little bit of fat from not doing so much, but during the summer I'll get rid of this. You guys really need to care how you look, because that shit in your belly is not good for you. I know guys, they put all their fat in their belly, and women put their fat in their ass. But either way, it's not good for you. And then you get these women that are fat and they want to dress sexy. I mean, really, come on, get real. You're not sexy. You're not going to be sexy until you lose weight. Whatever happened to those pinup girls, you know, from Playboy magazines, or those porn stars? I mean, they're all gone. I don't see them around anywhere. I mean, you have to go to other countries. You see videos on YouTube from like Russia or China. Everybody there, most everybody is thin. But you guys are all fat. I mean, really, what is wrong with you? Okay? I feel so sorry. Well, actually, I'm ashamed to be an American. You got your military in Syria. Why are we in Syria? We don't have any business there. The U.S. blew up the Nord Stream pipeline, according to Seymour Hersh, and he has a lot of connections with people in the government. Julian Assange is still in prison. Why? Because he's exposed to U.S. war crimes? Why does he deserve to be in prison when you got presidents that have been on Epstein's airplane or been on Epstein's island? You know, they're pedophiles and they get away with it. George W. Bush is a convicted war criminal. They lied about Iraq. Actually, the 9/11 was all set up. They lied about everything. Our presidents in this country, the United States, are the biggest mass murderers since Stalin and Hitler. And you guys don't seem to understand that. You want to wag your flag while Uncle Sam was fucking you up the ass. You know, and I'm so ashamed of being American. I'm too old to move anywhere else. I'm hoping you guys wake up someday, but I seriously doubt you're ever going to wake up. I like not seeing people. I don't have to see anybody on my property. That's the way I like it. Honeybees are perfect because my electrical business people are so flaky. Like I was supposed to, last week somebody called me and wanted me to meet them at their mother's property to wire up some security cameras. So that's okay. You called me the day before and it was yesterday and they never called. And today I called and left a message on their phone saying, well, you better call me by 9 o'clock. If you don't call me by 9 o'clock, I'm going to consider this done. And no, they didn't leave me a message. So people are flaky. I've noticed that in my electrical business. I get people that don't pay me, people that don't show up at a job site. You know, a house that's for sale and they want me to estimate what it costs to fix this or that. I mean, Americans are some of the worst fucking people in the world. I ought to know. I fucking live here, all right? Thank you.